So I guess I learned design from watching all of the Minecraft mods play together and trying to break them apart and having this place where I could experience many different kinds of games inside a single game. So I could see how different games and their mechanics interacted with each other. Once I started focusing on design, and once people started pumping out big mods for Minecraft, you start being able to learn about design very quickly. And I had already built up the programming skill that I needed at that point. So after that, let's say we go over to Minecraft Release 1.3, where Mojang has released the game. They've put together the client and the server, and everything runs like garbage. I decided at that point that Minecraft is not worth modding on, at least for a little while. So we go make something else. Find myself a little world where I can put together stuff. I start making something from scratch. So I write up a couple of designs. I just kind of go by the seat of my pants. I really want to learn about AI at the same time, because AI is the one thing that I've been lacking in. So I'm going to make these little blobs that walk around, and they're going to go find their own food, and they're going to go talk to each other, and we're going to make more blobs in the future. I worked on that for a couple months before I started to get to the point where it's like, yeah, okay, I understand enough about this problem that I can start scaling it up. But my AI project, when you make AI like that, when you make it for a little game, it doesn't scale up properly to a big game. I learned very quickly about second system syndrome, because you end up making something that is like bigger and better and faster and stronger than your last idea. See, with InfoTools and all of the other things there, I was really making my first system for programming. It took a few years to do it, but I was really just making it bigger and better and faster, and I could learn all of the things. And I just kind of built it up over time, and I could understand it. Then when I started on the second one, I was like, okay, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to make all the AI, but I don't know enough about AI, so I'm going to learn about it. And I realized that the way I had constructed everything, all of the code, all of the data, all of everything that I had made, would need to be torn down and put back together. So I got discouraged with that. I still have that project. I can pull bits and pieces out of it. Now that I look at it, I'm like, this is a few levels below where I'm at right now, and I could pull these things together, but really I could just remake everything in here about as fast as it would take to pull the pieces out of here and actually fix them. So I went back to Minecraft. One day I just woke up and was like, I want to go update my mods. Spent about 6 hours doing that. Realized my mod was not worth updating anymore. I had actually wanted to make something in the past, and Minecraft could actually support what I was going to make. So I wrote up some designs. I wrote up some features. We had something like a bunch of tools, and we were going to have a pickaxe, and this was only going to take up one item ID. And we're going to have the crafting things for it also take up one item ID each. So we'll have a pickaxe head, we'll have a binding, and we'll have a handle, because I want to make it out of a bunch of different parts, and I want each of the different parts to have their own properties and traits. So I can, well, make tools that I can make, and I want to make bad ones, and I want to make good ones, and I want to make weird ones, because this is Minecraft, and Minecraft's a sandbox world. It's made out of different parts. So I started taking the different pieces, and I put them together, and I made myself use every bit of skill that I had at the time, all the design, all of the programming. I took everything and I fused it together into the very first version of Tinker's Construct. This mod where you can take tools and you can put them together, and some parts of it worked, some parts of it didn't. I learned pretty quickly about what parts actually worked and what parts actually didn't when I was making it, because I could view each piece as an individual piece of a larger puzzle, and I could also see the larger puzzle. So I knew which pieces were trying to fit a round square in a peg hole. Yeah, it wasn't even proper. It was like, this is a block. I'm trying to make a moon out of it. Like, no, we don't want that. From a programming perspective, Tinker's Construct is my third system. And any systems I'm going to be making after that are going to be more refined. They're going to have more bits and pieces that work together in it. But third systems and higher aren't easily understood by people who are just starting the program. See, first systems are like big and bulky, and they've got things that are like hard-coded, and they've got things that don't work well together, but they work well on their own. A second system is like that, only bigger and better and stronger and faster, and it doesn't scale properly, so it ends up either taking up way too much time and resources or falls flat. But when you get up to a level above that, you start becoming competent in what you're doing. And competent programmers can understand at least up to proficient, possibly master level programmers. But the beginners and the advanced beginners can't understand your code. They can't really learn from it because they don't understand all of the underlying principles that make it. And it's really hard to teach those underlying principles without having them make a bunch of programming things. I mean, these principles can be taught, but it's one of the things that does have to be learned by experience rather than by example or by talking or showing. Would it be a good idea to learn making games like me? Okay, so the only reason I would say yes is because I learned this way and I had a passion about what I was trying to make. Oh, there we go. I was trying to make something so I could teach myself how to program, teach myself how to be better at what I was trying to make. I was trying to make the best thing possible, but I knew I couldn't do that, so I was trying to teach myself how to learn how to make what I wanted to make. There was a whole process with it, and it's kind of a bad way to do it because you really need to be able to see what you're making and see it very quickly. Come to think of it, I just made a thing, and I sat down for a few hours and I'm like, I'm going to make the thing. I want to make this thing. I'm going to make the big thing. So I wasn't discouraged. I was like, okay, I'm working on it. And when I made the thing, it's like, yeah, I made the thing. But with game creation, you really need to be able to see what you're making right away. You need to get some instant feedback, and you need to feel good about what you made, whether it's good or bad. I mean, the first thing you make is always going to be the worst thing. So you have to realize that just because it's the worst thing doesn't mean that it's also not the best thing. Since you haven't made anything else, this is the best thing that you've ever made. And you can't compare it to other types of projects that you've made because you're learning a brand new skill set. It'd be like somebody who was tone deaf had a surgery on one of their ears because they were tone deaf because they couldn't hear properly, and they started hearing everything, and then they wanted to go sing, and they started singing for the first time in a way that they could understand. It's like, yeah, you're going to sing really badly, but you're going to sing much better than you have ever before. But you're still going to be bad at it. And it's going to be the best thing you've ever made. So go with it. And if you don't like what you've made, make something new. And make it quickly. You really want to see the results of that. The other thing is, a lot of people... Oh, hi, Crypt. Where am I at? I'm in new terrain. I'm gonna mark this. Dungeon. Crypt. There we go. I'll come back to you eventually. The other thing that people tend to do is, like, I'm going to go learn how to program from a school. And the school will teach you how to program in a way that makes sense. They may not teach you some of the underlying principles of programming, though. Things like logic, things like how computers function. They're supposed to do that in an intro to programming class. But some people will not get things like that, and some of the intro to programming classes will just start teaching you how to program and basic features of it without going over the principles of it. So if you ever learn how to make games, I would actually suggest going and getting a game that you like, but you don't like it enough that if you ever ruin it, you're going to feel bad about it. It's like Minecraft. Minecraft is actually the perfect place to be modding if you want to learn how to make games, because the basic game of Minecraft, kind of crud. Kind of good, kind of crud. Lots of potential. You can make pretty much anything you want in here. It's a great platform. And you can see your own project working. You can put it in with other people's mods, and you can see how well that your tool mod works with Tinkers. Or maybe you've made a bunch of tech stuff and you want to make it better than Industrial Craft. But just making things numerically better doesn't actually make them better. And you can learn about that firsthand, because there's a bunch of other little games that you can deal with, and there's a bunch of other designs that you can pick apart and see what works and what doesn't. You just need to go in with the right mindset. You really need to go in willing to learn on your own. You need to go look out for other resources on the internet and learn about general design, learn about general programming. And I would even start with general design and general programming before you start up Minecraft, because you really should understand some part of what's going on before you try to take apart this big hulking thing that is Minecraft. Minecraft base game is still very, very complicated. It's got code made from multiple people. I mean, without adding things like better dungeons where you add in random features that are out in the world, you've still got all of the terrain generation. You've still got all the mobs. You've still got all the blocks. Oh, hey, I've been here before. In fact, what I do is I just go make something text-based with a basic compiler and start making, I don't know. Make something that goes up, down, left, and right, and see how well that works. Even if it's just all bad looking, it'll still teach you a lot about what you need to learn and how to learn for the future. And all the recipes. Yeah. The other thing about starting in Minecraft is you will probably get caught up on things that you shouldn't get caught up on. Like, the nitty-gritty of game design involves things like crafting recipes. It involves things like the specific behavior of grass blocks. They spread, they grow, and with something like what you want to be making to begin with, you don't want to have to worry about other people's designs as much. You just want to have something that you can grab onto yourself and understand before you try to use somebody else's work. That said, once you actually understand that part, go nuts. Go make your mod in your favorite game. Go grab a program to start making games in. Go grab RPG Maker. Go grab Game Maker and start making Sonic fly around in a tuba on a flying sheep. And you have to hunt down the evil Snorkel Man. That is a fortress. As far as games go, anything that you can imagine and put inside a game works. It doesn't have to work well. It doesn't have to work like something that looks like a professional made it. It doesn't have to work anything like you would actually expect a fully featured, fleshed out game to be. And definitely do not start off with something that is multiplayer, like an MMO. Or the next Call of Duty. Definitely do not start off with anything that involves multiple people playing your game. That is an extra layer of complexity on top of another layer of complexity on top of your game. Oh, my shoe saved me. No, the first game you make is not going to be the next big hit. Those things take hundreds of people, millions of hours of work to make. You're going to make something and it's going to be simple. You probably find something like that up on Congregate or Newgrounds or any of the Flash portal sites that you can go view games on. Or some of the free games on Steam or some of the freeware that you can get on Linux or anything like that. You just need to start small. And then you build up from there. You can start small and expand outward. You can start with your little nugget. Like, here's your game. Well, you like your game. You don't like your game. You want to make it better. Either way. So, you go out this way. It's a little bit better. Now we got to add some interesting content to it. Oh, hey. Now we've got difference in kind. We've got variety in here. So now, you want to make it into this shape. Okay, well, maybe that works. Maybe not. Well, let's do it like this. There's your game. Okay. So this is your game compared to Minecraft. Yeah. Don't worry about how well it works. Just worry about that it works at all to begin with. Oh, my voice is starting to bug me. I've been streaming for close to 3 hours. And I've gotten myself sufficiently lost. And I've talked about game design quite a bit today. Also, the history of Tinkers, which I should definitely upload at some point. So, I'm going to end this here with a slang of Mr. Piggy and jumping off into the water. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Oh, I can't... Oh, there we go. Wave into the sunset. I'm going to drown myself now.